Today, these two area schools compete against each other for a chance to advance in this academic tournament. It's Andrean and River Forest, and it's coming up on Making the Grade.
For over 30 years, Chester Information Technologies has assisted school administration and faculty with technology needs to better help their students make the grade. More information at chesterinc.com.
Welcome to Season 4 of Making the Grade. I'm your host, Tavis Buchan. This is the academic tournament where these area schools and their students compete for not only the bragging rights, but the trophies and the prize scholarship money from NIPSCO. Today we have Andrean and we have River Forest here in front of a studio audience. You guys ready for Making the Grade?
Oh, yes.
Huh? Yeah?
Oh, yes.
All right. Welcome back. Some of you look familiar. We'll learn a little bit more about you when we meet the class in just a few moments. But we're going to go ahead and begin with round one, which is question and answer. First one to buzz in has a chance to answer the question. If you're incorrect, then it goes over to the other side for a chance to counter. All right, no talking amongst yourselves. Let's begin. It has expanded its colorful core business of making childhood fun into the nail polish market as well. Name this major company that creates millions of crayons each year. Jack from Andrean. Crayola is correct. Yes, Andrean is first on the board. It's early. Name the U.S. state bordered by Montana, Idaho, South Dakota, Nebraska, Colorado, and Utah, and whose tourist website, Jack from Andrean.
Wyoming.
Wyoming is correct, yes. And we continue. One of this unit, looking for the unit, often equals the waist measurement of pants for a medium-sized man. Name this unit of length used to measure distance on American golf courses. And Matt from Andrean.
An inch?
Not an inch. We are going to toss it over to the other side, and I will finish the question. Okay, name this unit of length used to measure distance on American golf courses and equal to 0.9144 meters, 36 inches, or 3 feet. What is the name of the unit? And Candace from River Forest.
A yard.
A yard is correct, yes, Candace. And River Forest is now on the board. We resume. Home Depot sells more than 70 of them, divided by both number of tines, usually from 15 to 30, and by function. Identify this common lawn tool, whose types include roof to get snow off your roof, bow, Jack from Andrean.
Shovel?
Not a shovel, okay? So bow, a shrub, thatch, lawn, and leaf. And Destiny from River Forest.
A rake.
A rake is correct, yes. All right, moving on. Considered the pinnacle of Mughal architecture, it celebrates a mother of 14 children. Identify Ryan from Andrean.
The Taj Mahal.
Taj Mahal is correct. Got that early. Wow. All right, we continue. What word starting with C describes a church singing group that often wears Matt from Andrean?
A choir.
A choir is correct. Yes, we have a score of Andrean now 22-10. She works as a seamstress even after she has an affair with a preacher, keeping the baby and naming her Pearl. Name this Jack from Andrean.
Hester Prynne.
Hester Prynne is correct, yes, from the Scarlet Letter. Name the 20th century U.S. president who, in his first acceptance speech, said, I pledge myself to a new deal for the American people. Jack from Andrean.
Franklin Roosevelt.
Yes, FDR is correct. Question and answer, continuing. It can separate elements in a list that already uses commas, or connect two independent clauses without a coordinating conjunction. Name this punctuation mark, Ryan from Andrean.
Semicolon?
Semicolon is correct. Yes, Ryan. All right. When this body of water flooded in 1927, it was 60 miles wide just south of Memphis, Tennessee. Identify this river that stretches from 8 counties in Minnesota all the way to New Orleans. Jack from Andrean.
Mississippi River.
The Mississippi River is correct. Related to the okapi, it mostly eats acacia leaves that other herbivores are too short to reach. Identify Nick from Andrean.
A giraffe.
Giraffe, yes, giraffe is correct. Near ground level, it is considered bad for crops, but the layer of this substance 15 miles above Earth is considered good. Nick from Andrean.
Ozone.
Ozone is correct, yes. Moving on. You may have to replace its cap to keep its fluid under pressure and thus keep the fluid's boiling point at an acceptable level. Name this part of your car that stores and helps to circulate a combination of water, coolant, and antifreeze. Jack from Andrean.
Radiator.
Radiator is correct, yes. Andrean now leading 55-10 as that completes that round. So now let's take a moment and let's meet the class. Let's begin with Andrean. Right now we have Matt. And Matt, thanks so much. Nice job so far. You are a senior. You're into football, also pro wrestling. So this is like WWE type wrestling. Do you have a favorite wrestler of, how about all time, not just currently?
All time, I gotta go my guy Mick Foley. He's the hardcore legend. He's the toughest guy ever, really.
I'm an Ultimate Warrior fan myself.
Rest in peace.
All right, we have Nick. Nick, you're a junior, and you are a huge fan of Lord of the Rings, the books.
I am, and the movies.
And the movies as well. I mean, you've read the books how many times?
More than 3. I can't even count.
How many hours would that add up to?
I don't really. It goes by so fast.
Yeah.
It's a blur of fun, really.
Well, this is a half-hour show. Ryan, we have Ryan. You are a senior, and
Yes, I am.
you're an Eagle Scout.
I am.
So, I mean, how long have you been in scouting?
I've been in scouting since first grade. I was a Cub Scout, but I joined Boy Scouts in 6th grade, so since then.
Will this continue into your adult life, you think?
Yes, because
Yeah.
I'm actually in a venture crew now, which is past Boy Scouts.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
All right, and then we have Jack. You're a senior also, and you're on the golf team.
I am.
Any favorite courses around the area?
Actually, Sandy Pines in DeMott. It's where we play our conference championship. That's probably my favorite.
All right. Well, good luck to you. And Andrean is coached by Jacob Knazer, and he's in the audience as well. Thank you, Jacob. And we have River Forest, and we have Jacob right now. Jacob, you are a senior. Hobby is astronomy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever discovered a planet?
No, I haven't.
Is there life out there?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Let me know. Dylan, we have Dylan. You're a senior also. You were an honorary citizen at Hoosier Girls State. Was there a mix-up?
No, actually there wasn't. I attended Hoosier Boys State first, and what the Boys and Girls State are is they're mock political experiences which you campaign and elect your peers into specific offices, and you learn about that office. At Hoosier Boys State, I was elected governor, so I had the opportunity to go and speak at Hoosier Girls State to motivate them, to get them an idea of what they would be experiencing there, and they gave me a certificate which named me an honorary
citizen. Right on.
So, and surprisingly, I did not have the largest beard there.
Oh, wow. You do here. All right, Destiny. We have Destiny, and you are a senior. You play piano. How long have you been playing piano for?
I've taught myself for about 3 years, maybe.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got my first keyboard for Christmas a couple years ago. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Cool. Candace, thanks for being here as well. You're a senior, and you took second at state for decathlon?
Yeah.
Wow, how was that? How was that compared to making the grade?
It was a lot of fun going down to state and beating Dylan.
Oh, yeah? Okay. All right. Well, we have River Forest coached by Jim Weitzel. Again, thanks everyone for being here. Let's go ahead and let's continue now with it's class project. So if you remember how this works, we are going to go down the line. I'm going to ask a question much like Q&A, but it's going to be Candace versus Jack, Ryan versus Destiny, Dylan versus Nick, Matt versus Jacob. We'll go down the line and then back up. Is everybody ready? Mm-hmm. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Let's begin. Here we go. Formed from the metamorphosis of limestone, it contains swirling light and dark patterns. Identify this type of non-foliated rock made mostly of calcium carbonate that is featured in Michelangelo's sculpture David. All right, Jack.
Marble.
Marble is correct. Now we move down. We have Ryan and Destiny. Because its title character is from Barbados and can swim, the Connecticut town of Weatherfield thinks she is in a league with the devil. Name this classic novel by Elizabeth George Spear about a girl named Kit Tyler. What's the classic novel? Title of the classic novel. Ryan from Andrean.
Little Women.
Not Little Women. So, Destiny, you do have a chance to counter.
I have no clue.
Doesn't hurt to guess. Want to buzz in?
No.
Time is ticking. What? You don't even want to try? I think I have to wait for the timeout. I think we got a buzzer coming here pretty soon. Ah, there it is. All right. Dylan and Nick now. All right. President Obama was visiting the concentration camp at Auschwitz when he aroused hostility by calling it a Polish death camp. What country's government actually supervised Auschwitz in World War II? Nick from Andrean.
Germany.
Germany is correct, yes. So now we have Matt and Jacob. His first appearance in a classic story is sitting at a table talking to the Mad Hatter over the head of the sleeping dormouse. Name this Alice in Wonderland character, not to be confused with the White Rabbit. And Matt from Andrean.
The cat.
No, not the cat. So Jacob, River Forest, you do have a chance to counter. Who is that Alice in Wonderland character?
I can't say.
No guesses?
No.
All right, it would be the March Hare. The March Hare. All right, we're coming back up to the front. Jack and Candace. In spite of its width and importance, not a single bridge has ever been built over this river that forms part of the border between Colombia and Peru. Name this major river. Jack from Andrean.
Amazon?
Amazon River is correct, and we move down. It's Ryan and Destiny. The noun specimen may be defined as a great example, a sample produced by an athlete for drug testing, or an individual wild animal captured for study. You know the word specimen. Spell the word specimen. Ryan from Andrean.
SPECIMEN.
Specimen, yes, that is correct, Ryan. And we move down. We have Nick and Dylan now. This pamphlet with a section called Thoughts on the Present State of American Affairs sold more than 100,000 copies, including the one George Washington read. Nick from Andrean.
Common sense.
Common sense is correct. Yes, common sense. We continue. Now we have Matt and Jacob. It filters the blood from your digestive tract and secretes bile from your intestines. Name Jacob from River Forest.
The liver?
The liver is correct, yes. And we are moving back up to the front. Candace and Jack, hands on your buzzers. Its Portuguese rulers moved there in the early 1800s to get out of reach of Napoleon. But as soon as King Zhao, Jack from Andrean.
Brazil?
Brazil is correct, yes. Brazil is correct. We move down. Destiny and Ryan. Name this iconic Edward Munch painting whose main figure puts his hands along the sides of his face. What is the name of that painting? And we have Destiny from River Forest.
The Scream.
The Scream is correct, yes. We have a score right now of Andrean 85 to River Forest 20. Still lots of game left, and this is where you can use your teamwork. Get together, get to know one another, make plans for this weekend, and try to answer the question correctly as we move on to Pop Quiz. This is where we will work through these categories. We have final exam, and we have rather social studies, science and math, and literature and language arts. Let's go ahead and begin with social studies. I'm going to give you a clue. You have to come up with the answer. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves. So for 30 points right now, social studies, okay? He was the youngest tax collector in the country when appointed to that job in Cincinnati by Chester Arthur. For 30 points, get together. What are you thinking? All right, so Ryan from Andrean, what'd you guys come up with?
Herbert Hoover.
Not Herbert Hoover. You do have a chance to counter for 30 points.
Think of it.
What are you thinking? You're on the clock. Oh, time is up. So we're going to continue now for 20 points, all right? It'd be the same answer. Because of his huge size, the Secretary of War, Jack from Andrean.
Taft.
Taft is correct. Yes, William Howard Taft. Let's move on to the next category, which is science and math, for 30 points. This adjective is used with the word inversely to describe two quantities, one of which gets Jack from Andrean.
Proportional.
Proportional is correct. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to move on now to the final category, which is literature and language arts. For 30 points, he lived in the Lake District of England after marrying his wife, Harriet. Get together. Throw out some answers. This is for 30 points right now. All right, time is up. That's okay. We're going to move on now for 20 points. Here's your next clue. This British romantic poet drowned at age 29 in a storm while sailing his boat to Italy. Jack from Andrean.
Poe.
Not Poe. Not Poe. So you guys do have a chance. This British romantic poet drowned at age 29 in a storm while sailing his boat to Italy after writing the narrative poem Queen Mab. For 20 points. Oh, that's time. So, okay, here we go. For 10 points now. After he left Harriet, he married a girl named Mary, who later wrote the novel Frankenstein. All right, Jack from Andrean.
Shelley.
Shelley is correct. Yes, Percy Shelley. All right, so that concludes Pop Quiz. Now we move on to final exam. We have Andrean leading 145 to 20. But this is where you can really rack up the points. As you can see on the monitors in front of you, we have our categories, okay? You can get together to pick your categories, but then once I ask the question, it's the first person to buzz in. So remember, no talking amongst yourselves after you pick the category. River Forest, you are trailing. You have control of the board. What would you like?
Okay. U.S. history.
All right, we're going to go with U.S. history, okay? So we'll begin with U.S. history for 10 points, all right? All right, no talking amongst yourselves. This state was the site of an 1820s utopian society set up by Robert Owen called Jack from Andrean.
Massachusetts.
Not Massachusetts. No, you have a chance to counter. This state was the site of an 1820s utopian society set up by Robert Owen called New Harmony. All right, Dylan from River Forest, take a shot.
New Hampshire.
Not New Hampshire, no. Indiana is actually the correct answer, right? Okay, you still have control of the board since no one answered correctly. You want to stick with U.S. history or you want to move on to another category?
All right, yeah, U.S. history.
All right, let's keep going. U.S. history for 15 points now, teams. The day America's stock market crashed on October 29th, 1929 is known by this colorful two-word term. All right, Ryan from Andrean.
Black Tuesday.
Black Tuesday is correct, yes. All right, so which means you now have control of the board, Andrean. You can stick with U.S. history, or we can move on to another category. It is up to you. Feel free to talk it over. What would you like?
U.S. history.
Continue with U.S. history. This is now for 20 points. This former Indiana senator would have become president had the first George Bush died in office. All right, Matt from Andrean.
Oh, first try. Bob Dole.
Not Bob Dole, no, which means you have a chance to counter. Not Bob Dole. What would you like to guess? All right, Candace from River Forest.
Richard Lugar.
Not Richard Lugar. Dan Quayle. Dan Quayle. All right, you still have control of the board, Andrean, since no one answered correctly.
U.S. history.
We're moving on with U.S. history for 25 points now. In 1953, author Dashiell Hammett testified before this committee of Congress that was Nick from Andrean.
Homeland Un-American Activities Committee.
I cannot accept that. You are close. You do have a chance to counter. In 1953, author Dashiell Hammett testified before this committee of Congress that was investigating communists in high places. What are you thinking? You're on the clock. Do not talk amongst yourself. All right, that's time. You were close, Nick. House Un-American Activities Committee. All right, that's okay. Remember, there are no penalties, so you still have the board. You'd like to continue with U.S. history?
U.S. history.
U.S. history for 30 points. Franklin Pierce was succeeded as U.S. president by this man he appointed as U.S. ambassador to England. Nick from Andrean.
Buchanan.
Yeah, James Buchanan. There you go. Redemption, Nick. All right. We're done with U.S. history, so you can go ahead and pick another category.
Music for time.
All right, let's go with music. We got a piano player over here. All right, for 10 points here. This Italian musical term is abbreviated by the letters FF. Ryan from Andrean.
Fortissimo.
Fortissimo is correct for 10 points. All right, you still have control of the board.
We'll do American Lit.
All right, you want to do
20th century American
20th century American Lit. Okay, here we go for 10 points. We've got about 5 minutes left in the game. That's a lot of time. Here we go. The fourth section of William Faulkner's The Sound and the Fury takes place on this spring Sunday holiday. Ryan from Andrean.
Easter.
Easter is correct, yes, for 10 points.
Easter, by the way.
You too.
For 15, please.
For 15 points, this black author is most famous for her novel, Their Eyes Were Watching God. What is the name of this author? Ryan from Andrean.
Maya Angelou.
Not Maya Angelou. Sure, good guess though. So you have a chance to counter. Any guesses? All right, that's time. Zora Neale Hurston. It was Hurston. All right, Andrean, you still have control of the board. Would you like to continue with American Lit?
Who starts with A?
Starts with A. Could be anything. Here we go. For 10 points, a light blue-green color. It's the color of seawater. Matt from Andrean.
Gotta go aqua.
I cannot accept that. You have a chance. A light blue-green color, the color of seawater. Destiny from River Forest.
Aquamarine.
Aquamarine, there you go. That hurts, doesn't it, Matt? Man, it's so close. All right, you have control of the board now. What would you guys like? Go ahead. We can continue with starts with A. We can move around, whatever you want. All right. Starts with A. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay, starts with A for 15 points. This state mammal of Texas has bony plates that protect it. Matt from Andrean.
An armadillo.
There you go, armadillo. All right, you guys have control of the board now, Andrean. You want to continue with starts with A?
We're doing math.
All right, let's move on to math now. All right, pencils and papers ready, all right? You've got the pencils, you got the papers. We'll go for 10 points here. The cube of the monomial, I always have trouble with that. Monomial, 2x to the third, y to the second, z. The cube of that monomial. 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 All right, we've got Ryan from Andrean. What's your guess?
8x to the 9th, y to the 6th, and z to the 3rd.
There you go. Yep, for 10 points, you guys have control of the board. You want to continue with math or move around?
We'll go American Lit.
All right, you guys are keeping me busy. Here we go. All right, now we're at American Lit now for 20 points, all right? At the end of Catch 22, the character Yossarian has a flashback to the death of this friend of his. It's at the end of Catch 22. All right, that is time. That would be Snowden. Okay, that would be Snowden. We have about 2 minutes left of the game. Andrean, you still have control of the board.
American Lit.
All right, American Lit for 25 points now. This Kurt Vonnegut novel, subtitled The Children's Crusade, tells of the bombing of Dresden, Germany, which its author saw personally during World War II. Ryan from Andrean.
Slaughterhouse 5.
There you go, Ryan. That's correct. Yeah, for 25 points. Okay, we're under 2 minutes here. You have control of the board, Andrean.
We're doing math.
All right, we're going to math. Back to math right now. Math for 15, so pencils and paper, students. If sales tax in the city of Realville is 6.7%, the sales tax to the nearest cent on a toy that costs $2.99. Matt from Andrean.
$1.34.
No, that's not correct. You guys have a chance. All right, Candace from River Forest.
20 cents.
20 cents?
Yeah.
Say it with confidence. That's right. All right. You guys have control of the board now. We've got 1 minute left, a little less than that. You can go with math for 25 points, or we can move it around.
Math for 20.
Math for 25. All right, here we go. Pencils and paper. The fraction in lowest terms whose representation as a decimal is 0.425. The fraction is what I'm looking for. All right, pencils down, but did you get it? Go ahead and buzz in if you did. Ryan from Andrean.
17 over 40.
17 over 40 is correct, yes. All right, we can go math for 30. We're nearing the end here.
We'll take chemistry for 10.
Chemistry for 10 now. This is the last question here, all right? This type of half reaction must always happen simultaneously with an oxidation reaction. Ryan from Andrean.
A reduction?
The reduction reaction is correct, and that is the end of this episode of Making the Grade. Andrean will advance. River Forest, hope you had fun. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Making the Grade.
For over 30 years, Chester Information Technologies has assisted school administration and faculty with technology needs to better help their students make the grade. More information at chesterinc.com.